Hi friends, I just wanted to show you just some of the aspects of my morning routine, my journaling slash wake up slash planning-ish routine that kind of gets me started for the day. And I thought that before I walk you through kind of the different things that I use, the first thing that's important to share is my tote. This tote is made by a company called Molly Ollie. I will link it. It's on Amazon. I will link it in the description. But what I love about this is that all of these things, including jars of markers, so many books, some cards, folders with important information, all of it fits, and I can carry it from my office to the couch where I kind of like to start my day with my cup of coffee. And so the first part is having all of the things you need kind of in one place. I'm going to just slowly but surely show you the things in here and talk about how I use them. But it doesn't have to be a tote like this. It could be anything that's portable, that keeps you from feeling like stressed out about having piles. What I like about it is it means I can have everything that I need without having to go hunt it up. Because in the morning, I'm too grumpy to like deal with not having what I need. So I have some brush markers, these small Fudenosuke's, because they work well in my passion planner. I have these Amy Tangerine watercolors because they are all self-contained, including a water brush. And so I can use those easily. My medication lives in this so that I can take it first thing in the morning. Just some Prismacolor pens because I was playing with them. They're just like fine point pens. These are all of, well, besides these are all of my erasable pens. I use these in my planner, and so I like to just have them in here so that they're ready for me if I need to do any planning. Monday mornings often I do. Erasable highlighters, which I use for both planning and for highlighting whatever book I'm reading. Right now I don't have a book out because I'm starting a new one, but I am liberal with my highlighter in my book. I like to get out a book. This is the next book I'm going to start reading. Well, maybe. And I just read a chapter usually and highlight as I go. Sometimes I don't do this, but this is a part of my morning routine I like to have available. So I stick this in my tote. One of the things for me that I think is important is just knowing that I have some flexibility. I don't always want to do the exact same thing. So sometimes it's more like a podcast or drawing in my bullet journal or making a list. So I like to have some options. This is in here, although I haven't used it for a while. This is where I write morning pages if I'm just doing like messy journaling. Before I had my passion planner, I would only do it in here, but now my passion planner has kind of become the place for that for now until I change my mind. This is my bullet journal. Like I said, I keep lists in here mainly, and sometimes I put sticky notes of things I want to put in the future. But I like to have this in my tote because it kind of organizes my thoughts. If I need to look something up or add something, or I hear something I love, I can always add like a quote in here while I'm just taking my morning time to myself. Let me find that quote page for you. Where'd it go? It's in here somewhere. Well, somewhere in here, there's a page of quotes. There it is. Okay, so let's see what else we've got here. All right, now we're getting to like the actual elements of my morning plan. So this is the planner that I'm using right now for planning my schedule. It's made by Megan Flatt. She is a business coach. She has been my business coach for the past year. And I love this planner. It's a quarter at a time. It does a lot of like work around business planning at the beginning, and then it's 1 week at a time. So I use this at the beginning of the week to plan out my week so I know what's coming, and then I kind of keep it open on my desk, or in the mornings, I'll just kind of throw it on top of the tote so I can pull it out to the living room. This is my passion planner. Currently, this is my morning routine. So I'm going to scoot some stuff and then pull you down lower because this is kind of where it's happening for me lately. So as I flip you through this really quick, I was tracking something, not doing a good job of that anymore, but I just want to show you really quick that like all the pages do not look like I followed the same formula, like I did them thinking about the same things. I need flexibility in order to stick with things. I need to be able to choose what's best for me. So sometimes what's best for me is stickers. Sometimes I need a place to journal a ton, like sometimes I need to just write a bunch of quotes. If I'm listening to a podcast or reading a book that's really speaking to me, sometimes I'll just fill my page with lots of quotes. Sometimes I just sketch out colors. As you can see, I just do a lot of different things as I go because the point is to have something to do in the morning that works for me and that doesn't stress me out. I get up really early so that I can have a good solid few hours to really wake up, which means I get a lot of time in this thing. And so that gives me the opportunity to kind of mix in my reading, my reading of a book, my listening of a podcast, doing some art. There's a lot of options and I like that. This page was last week. I listened to my first lesson in the Fearless art curriculum because that's the week we were on. And I took some notes for my talk with the class that week. The other pieces that I do every morning mostly is that I write my schedule down in this little spot. I really do appreciate this about the Passion Planner, even though I know that I already have it written in let's get one open. Even though it's already in here, it's really helpful for me to see in the morning to get my brain where I need to be. Usually there are two other things that I've been doing every morning, at least recently. Like I said, I'm not necessarily super stuck to the rules, but my phone app has a verse of the day. And so a lot of times I will letter out that verse and look at the chapter and just kind of see what it says. A lot of times I will paraphrase the verse, but you'll notice often I think that was my paraphrase there. Often I will pull out that verse and I will write it somewhere on my page. The other thing I like to do, I think it's a fun practice, is I like to pull out my Animal Allies cards and pick one for the day. And the way that it works is I just pick out a card. Oh, I wish this was my card for today because look, narwhals are the best. And then I open this up and I read it, and it usually just gives some encouragement kind of related to the personality of the narwhal. So I'll read it and then I will come into my book and I will write the name of the animal and I will write kind of what spoke to me about that. It kind of just gives me like something kind of like heart-centered to think about, and it gets me thinking about like positive qualities and what I'm looking for in that day. If I pick one and it doesn't feel right, sometimes I'll pick another one or I'll pick two. No rules. I'm really kind of a big deal on that. But generally, I write that in this square right here. You can see in the Passion Planner, there are a few other spots, and sometimes I do use them. Like right here, I did for the most part, like personal, and I'll do a little list of things I want to do. Work, and I'll do a list of things for work that I don't want to forget. Sometimes it's just a really busy time. And so I will actually pull out sticky notes and I will use this section. Like if my brain doesn't want to do anything journally, I'll just use this section to like help organize my thoughts. And that is also allowed. For me, in my morning routine, everything is pretty much allowed as long as I get up and I take some time to get centered and take care of myself. The final thing that I do in my passion planner often, although not always, is now I gotta find one where I did it. I will write what workout I did for the Couch to 5K just to kind of keep track of it. Sometimes I will write the best thing that happened. Generally, I do circle my mood, although I tend to always do it all in the morning. So I just have to kind of use yesterday or use how I'm feeling as I wake up. Although there are times when I leave that section empty with the intention of coming back to it, I don't always make it happen, though. Some pages are not filled up, and that's okay. This is not like a show off my workspace. This is like a get grounded, get ready for my day, and see what's on my mind. Swatched some watercolor posts there. The other thing that I think this journaling practice and morning practice can be great for is if you are working through a course, it can be great, especially if it's kind of a more like heart-centered type course where there's a lot of like deep probing questions. Sometimes I'll listen to the lesson in the morning with my part of my schedule, and then I'll do some journaling and grab some quotes from it. And of course, I should mention that I am as often as possible trying to pull out some of my printables. I printed a bunch of them so that I could use them, and I printed a bunch more from other print and pray artists. And often I will cut out a sticker and stick it on my page. I don't have a timeline for it. There are some days when I do it first because I don't know what I want to do with my page. And there are some days that I just use it to fill in space. Like for example here, or for example, the other day, oh, here's a sticker here. So I do some stickers, but it's not a decorative planner by any means. It's just a place to get my thoughts down. And so all of that being said, I would recommend, and my biggest advice is not that you do a morning routine any special way, but rather that, and maybe not even that you do a morning routine. If your life doesn't provide for you to be getting up at the crack of dawn, or if you couldn't beat your kids up if you tried, or not wake up before your kids. This is what I mean. If for you that is not a go, then find another way to carve out some space and find a space, like an actual physical space where anything goes and you're allowed to just put stuff down. I think when we were younger, we all were really more prone to keep a journal and write random stuff down and put less pressure on ourselves. And then something happened and we thought everything that we wrote down had to be perfection and that we had to have a strategy and that we had to do everything just so. And I think for some of us, having a strategy keeps us going. But if you're finding that all of the musts and the have-tos and the I shoulds are keeping you from just getting things down on the paper, then figure out a way to loosen up the reins. This was one day when I literally didn't feel like doing anything, so I just painted on my page. Because for me, the win is that I am up and I am thinking and I am writing things down, and that's it. There's no other must do for this particular morning routine. Just that I get in there and that I take some time to set my day up and to really just take care of myself. So I hope that's helpful. This is a passion planner, and I will also link this for you. And yeah, just get in there. Whatever you have, you don't need a special book. You don't need a special pen. All you need is to make a little bit of time for you.